She took a secret to her grave, one that connected TikTok to the Civil War. When Helen Viola Jackson died in 2020, she wasn't just a 101-year-old woman. She was the last known widow of a Union soldier from the American Civil War, a war that ended in 1865. That's not a typo. A woman who lived to see smartphones and social media was once married to a man who fought under Abraham Lincoln's flag. But how is that even possible? Let's go back to the 1930s, during the Great Depression, when millions of Americans were struggling just to eat. Helen was 17 years old, living in Missouri, when her family began helping a local elderly man named James Bolin. He was 93, a former Union soldier who had fought in one of the bloodiest conflicts in U.S. history. He had no family left, no one to care for him, no pension that would continue after he died. That's when he made a bold offer. He asked Helen to marry him. It wasn't for love or romance, it was for survival. If she married him, she could collect his Civil War veteran's pension after his death. It was a legal way to give her something stable in a time when people had nothing. They married quietly in 1936, with no wedding gown, no guests, and no photos. And then Helen kept it secret for over 80 years. Why? Because she didn't want to be judged. A teenage girl marrying a 93-year-old man, even for survival, wasn't something the world would understand. She feared gossip. She feared being seen as someone who did it for money. So she said nothing. Not even when James died. Not even when she got old. Not even when the Civil War faded from living memory. She finally shared the truth shortly before her death, revealing a connection that almost no one believed could still exist. Helen's story shows just how far history can reach. A decision made during one of America's darkest times, during a war most of us only read about in books, echoed all the way into the 21st century. Her marriage kept the memory of the Civil War alive, not in a classroom, but through a real, living person. And what's even more powerful, there are people alive today who once spoke with a Civil War veteran's wife. History isn't over. It's not behind us. Sometimes it's just one generation away.